On Blue Star, every 18-year-old was eventually dragged into the all-people lord game. For 3 centuries, that merciless game had decided which civilizations survived and which became colonies. When Wang Fa's turn arrived, he appeared beside a miserable manor in a barren wasteland. His territory offered flat ground, a flimsy fence, 2 huts, and almost no natural protection. Other new lords could only pray for a useful talent before the monsters found them. Wang Fa awakened something the ranking system could not even measure: ultimate ascension. Everything he personally owned would automatically rise to the highest known gold quality. Only traded second-hand items were excluded, preventing him from becoming an invincible merchant overnight. That limitation mattered because direct trading could otherwise convert every cheap purchase into a priceless treasure. Wang Fa quickly realized the rules still allowed anything dropped by monsters he personally defeated. Resources already belonging to his territory would also advance without requiring exchange or payment. The supposed restriction merely forced him to conquer and produce instead of reselling other people's possessions. For an ambitious new lord, that was hardly a meaningful weakness. Even with that restriction, monster drops and resources gathered inside his territory still qualified. Before Wang Fa finished considering the possibilities, golden light swallowed his crumbling manor. The humble building transformed into a magnificent residence with overwhelming durability and defensive power. Its population capacity also exploded from 25 residents to 250,000. The manor gained 1 million durability and enough defense to ignore every beginner monster nearby. Its construction and production bonuses multiplied the speed of development throughout the whole territory. What should have been a helpless first-day settlement now possessed the capacity of a future capital. Wang Fa understood that population was military potential, not merely a number of available beds. Hundreds of thousands of future soldiers could eventually live beneath his command. Then ultimate ascension spread across his fences, houses, supplies, timber, stone, and hidden minerals. 2 thatched huts became enormous residences that restored injuries and gathered spiritual energy. The territory expanded more than tenfold, giving Wang Fa tremendous resources but creating more borders to defend. Still, one thought eclipsed every danger. Gold quality was only the beginning of his talent. The upgraded fence remained strangely low, barely reaching a grown man's waist. Its appearance invited enemies to underestimate it. Before discovering the laws hidden inside the metal, automatic repair promised to erase accumulated damage, while thorns punished anything attacking directly. Even monsters capable of flight would be dragged into the same impossible barrier as ground troops. Wang Fa deliberately kept the fence's unimpressive shape because deception could become another weapon. Yet its invisible laws prevented enemies from flying, vaulting, or squeezing through any opening. 3 sides of Wang Fa's land were exposed, while the fourth bordered a monster-filled river. Under normal circumstances, this starting position would have been a death sentence. But Wang Fa watched desperate newcomers complain in the chat channel without sharing their fear. Powerful families could send limited support across regions, while ordinary lords struggled for their first meal. Wang Fa needed no wealthy clan because his beginner supplies had already turned golden. He consumed 3 military tokens and summoned 3 elite space crossbow cavalry soldiers. Their exceptional speed, spatial arrows, and long range dwarfed anything ordinary newcomers could recruit. Each rider carried a 4-shot crossbow and a replacement weapon for extended fighting. Their bolts crossed space without leaving a visible path for enemies to dodge. Mana could also generate fresh ammunition, allowing the cavalry to continue fighting without supply wagons. Wang Fa immediately imagined entire armies dying while pursuing riders they could never reach. 3 golden civilians followed, each capable of mastering construction, farming, mining, and every production skill. Their labor multiplied gathered resources, turning Wang Fa's empty wasteland into a future treasure house. One chopped tree produced the materials of 5, and the same multiplication applied underground. Their construction speed surpassed ordinary civilians by dozens of times before food bonuses were considered. They carried golden toolboxes containing everything required for mining, farming, fishing, and building. Even his workers were stronger than many new lords, trying to defend themselves personally. Before he could enjoy that advantage, several water snakes surfaced along the northern riverbank. The creatures sensed danger from the golden radiance and quietly withdrew to gather reinforcements. Rather than stopping them, Wang Fa concealed the light and waited for their return. He needed an enemy strong enough to reveal what his newborn army could truly accomplish. The space crossbow cavalry took position behind the fence as a huge anaconda emerged from the river. This green quality, level 4 boss would have destroyed almost any territory on its first day. The cunning serpent studied the magnificent buildings and understood that delay would only strengthen its prey. Believing it could escape through the river, the creature ordered its smaller snakes forward. Wang Fa deliberately withheld his soldiers because he wanted to test the golden fence first. Water bullets struck an invisible barrier and collapsed without touching anyone inside the territory. Wang Fa had temporarily disabled thorns, so the attacking boss would not be punished too early. He wanted evidence that every defensive effect worked exactly as the description promised. The cavalry's warhorses remained calm, treating the monster's strongest attack as harmless rain. That composure showed how completely the golden units trusted the barrier behind them. Snakes rushed closer, only to discover they could neither climb nor pass through the waist-high fence. Even the boss shattered its own scales when its tail slammed against the golden metal. Once the defense proved itself, Wang Fa calmly gave the order to fire. 12 spatial bolts vanished from the crossbows and reappeared inside the anaconda's vulnerable body. Its slippery scales could deflect normal arrows, but they offered no protection against displaced space. The supposedly deadly boss lost its entire life force before it could retreat. Its slippery scales never activated effectively because spatial bolts appeared past the protective surface. The attack punctured its eyes, head, and back before pain could trigger an escape. Smaller snakes fled toward the river, but the cavalry pursued them beyond the fence. Any monster entering the water still died when spatial arrows appeared inside its body. Wang Fa's cavalry then crossed the fence and hunted every surviving snake along the riverbank. Their aura-generated ammunition promised sustained fire, while their warhorses crushed the weakest monsters effortlessly. Instead of fearing another attack, Wang Fa used half the boss's corpse as bloody river bait. More months now meant more experience, more drops, and more opportunities for ultimate ascension. The slain anaconda dropped a recruitment pavilion blueprint, a hero token, and ordinary equipment. The moment Wang Fa claimed them, every reward transformed into a gold-quality treasure. The leather armor among those drops granted Leah 20,000 additional health after recruitment. The hero token carried more long-term value because heroes could command thousands through their auras. The pavilion blueprint, however, initially demanded rare gold ore, unavailable in the beginner region. Wang Fa's solution revealed that controlling his talent mattered as much as possessing it. However, the golden recruitment pavilion demanded materials unavailable anywhere in the beginner region. For the first time, Wang Fa's extraordinary talent appeared to have created its own obstacle. Then he realized he could temporarily remove the upgrade from the blueprint. He would build the cheapest white pavilion first and restore its gold quality afterward. His golden civilians gathered high-grade timber and stone at a speed that made normal labor meaningless. One harvested resource became 5, while their tools flashed too quickly for Wang Fa to follow. Only 2,000 copper coins remained, and early monsters were currently the main source. So Wang Fa processed the serpent meat and offered it through the public trading channel. Starving newcomers stared in disbelief because someone had already defeated a green-quality boss. An anonymous wealthy lord purchased the entire listing before the others could gather enough coins. Other newcomers assumed the buyer belonged to an established clan with cross-regional financial support. They were correct about the buyer's resources, but completely wrong about Wang Fa's background. He had transformed one monster corpse into enough money to unlock a golden hero. The remaining serpent meat still provided food for his rapidly growing settlement. With every requirement satisfied, Wang Fa constructed the ordinary white recruitment pavilion. Ultimate Ascension immediately transformed the simple wooden structure into a majestic golden hall. The upgraded pavilion could summon famous historical heroes and even mythical generals. If Blue Star's established powers discovered this building, they would tear each other apart to possess it. Wang Fa inserted his golden hero token as brilliant light poured through the pavilion doors. A tall masked woman emerged, carrying an enormous bow and commanding the power of the void. She was Leah, a gold-quality void archer whose presence instantly changed Wang Fa's military future. Leah recognized his potential, yet warned that earning her approval would not be easy. Her silver mask concealed most expressions, but the golden surroundings clearly unsettled her confidence. She had expected a weak young lord, not someone owning an entire collection of top-quality structures. Wang Fa's answer established their relationship immediately. He would command rather than seek validation. Leah respected that certainty because true rulers never begged their own heroes for permission. Wang Fa refused to seek anyone's approval because he intended to conquer absolute loyalty instead. Her personal range already surpassed his cavalry, and her hero aura could triple an entire army's reach. Void Arrow served as a normal attack, despite carrying the properties of a spatial skill. Blink gave Leah rapid repositioning, while etherealization made her temporarily immune to all attacks. Skypiercer consumed far more mana, but tore space across an entire impact area. Together, those skills made pursuit, defense, and large-scale extermination equally difficult against her. With Leah commanding thousands of crossbow riders, enemies might die before even seeing Wang Fa's walls. His territory had existed for barely a day, yet its first true hero had already arrived. The only question was whether the surrounding lords would recognize the coming threat before it became unstoppable. Leah's abilities made that threat even more terrifying than Wang Fa first imagined. Her ordinary void arrows ignored distance, while Blink allowed her to escape any dangerous position. Etherealization could briefly make her untouchable, and Skypiercer could tear apart an entire area. Wang Fa equipped her with golden leather armor, immediately strengthening the already formidable hero. Seeing gold everywhere around the territory, Leah began to suspect the true nature of his talent. Her earlier arrogance faded into respect as she realized what kind of lord had summoned her. Elsewhere, another gifted newcomer was surviving an opening far more desperate than Wang Fa's. Shen Yu had awakened Ocean's favored one, but her territory consisted of one fragile bamboo raft. Fortunately, her S-rank talent allowed her to manipulate seawater and command weaker marine monsters. When a powerful shark approached, Shen Yu sent controlled piranhas to tear down its defenses. She finished the weakened predator with compressed blades of seawater and claimed its body for food. The ocean itself then delivered drifting wood and a treasure chest toward its favored new lord. Shen Yu's talent kept dangerous waves away from the tiny raft, despite the surrounding stormy sea. She used shark meat for food, while planning to replace the raft with a genuine ship. Her controlled piranhas offered numbers, but stronger enemies still demanded direct manipulation of seawater. Like Wang Fa, she transformed a terrible starting position through the correct talent. Shen Yu had started with nothing, yet she intended to build an entire floating territory. Before either prodigy could advance further, a regional announcement changed every newcomer's plans. The demon-suppressing tower would remain open for 3 days, rewarding whoever climbed highest. Most lords saw a deadly gamble, because death inside the tower would be completely real. First place prize was only blue quality, yet spirit beasts were almost impossible for newcomers to obtain. Many lords planned to develop for 2 days before attempting a cautious final climb. Others feared they could not even survive the weak monster guarding the first floor. Wang Fa planned to take the prize precisely because Ultimate Ascension would rewrite its value. Wang Fa only saw the first-place spirit beast waiting to become golden in his hands. He placed Leah above his cavalry, spreading her range-enhancing aura across the entire squad. Wang Fa promised her hundreds of thousands of crossbow riders, rather than the mere thousands she imagined. His ambition confirmed Leah's suspicion that her new master intended to stand above every lord. Together, they entered the tower and faced a weak fish demon on the first floor. One space crossbow cavalry soldier killed it instantly and earned another military token. Bolt carried enough force to pin the fish demon against the opposite wall. Even this weak creature dropped more experience and resources than wilderness monsters normally provided. Wang Fa recognized the tower as a repeatable source of golden recruits rather than a simple ranking event. Every completed floor could increase the squad before the next battle began. Ultimate Ascension turned that ordinary reward golden, allowing Wang Fa to summon another elite rider. Every defeated floor strengthened his force, and he raced upward without giving the monsters time to react. By the 10th floor, Wang Fa finally encountered resistance strong enough to slow his advance. The restricted arena reduced Leah's range advantage and forced the squad into closer engagements. Even so, no enemy reached Wang Fa while golden soldiers controlled every approach. The 10th floor victory supplied 4 new cavalry riders and 4 more golden civilians. Wang Fa's military and production forces were now expanding together instead of competing for rewards. Meanwhile, Shen Yu carried suspended seawater and controlled piranhas into her own tower trial. Another S-rank lord, Wang Fa, entered with sandstorms gathered from his desert territory. Both appeared exceptional, yet neither understood how far Wang Fa's hidden advantage had already grown. Clearing the 10th floor rewarded Wang Fa with soldiers, civilians, experience, and special farmland. Ultimate Ascension transformed every reward before he placed the new farmland inside his territory. Crops there would grow 100 times faster, while producing 5 times the normal harvest. The soil itself released spiritual energy, warming anyone who breathed near the field. Farmland carried no building level, so placement required no construction materials or waiting time. Its ability to increase mature crop quality made even ordinary seeds strategically valuable. Wang Fa only lacked those seeds, a problem the tower soon began solving for him. The field could even raise crop quality, promising resources beyond anything ordinary agriculture could create. Wang Fa invested all accumulated experience into Leah instead of spreading it across weaker units. She surged to level 4, dramatically increasing her combat power and the reach of her commanding aura. Every level granted Leah enormous strength and agility beyond lower-quality heroes. Her aura capacity also expanded by another 1,000 allied units each time she advanced. The cavalry remained lower level, but Leah's bonuses raised their effective battlefield performance immediately. Wang Fa prioritized a decisive commander because stronger tower floors demanded concentrated power. Leah declared that she could now erase the coming monsters without relying on her strongest skills. While other newcomers prepared cautiously, Wang Fa had already cleared 10 floors and seized first place. The anonymous leader's sudden rise stunned the entire region and marked the beginning of a much larger rivalry. On the 11th floor, Leah finally demonstrated why a golden hero belonged beyond ordinary rankings. She drew her enormous bow and released Sky Piercer against the waiting blue leopard demon. The arrow ripped through space itself, destroying the monster before it could threaten her squad. Its dropped equipment immediately became a golden phoenix feather bow under Wang Fa's talent. The level 3 bow added 600 physical attack and valuable armor penetration. Although Leah already carried a divine-looking weapon, the new equipment strengthened its actual combat attributes. Gold quality did not freeze an item's growth. Higher-level gold gear remained vastly superior. This ensured Wang Fa would always benefit from stronger enemies and later regions. Once Leah equipped it, her physical attack nearly doubled, opening the path toward much higher floors. Wang Fa understood that equipment level still mattered, even when every item shared gold quality. That discovery gave his growing army another terrifying advantage over every rival in the region. Yet while Wang Fa climbed openly, another lord was becoming powerful through murder. Zhang Rei possessed the A-rank talent Murder and Robbery, which rewarded every human life he took. After killing a helpless lord, blood-red flames strengthened both Zhang Rei and his hidden assassins. The Shadow Clan had supplied him across realms in exchange for betraying his own civilization. Zhang Rei proudly accepted their slave contract, believing alien support would make him untouchable. The Shadow Clan ranked only within the universe's top 500, yet Zhang Rei treated them like saviors. They supplied blue-quality hidden blade assassins and teleportation tools unavailable to ordinary newcomers. In return, Zhang Rei promised to destroy Blue Star's strongest future lords from within. He interpreted enslavement as investment because nobody else had recognized his cruelty as useful talent. Each victim increased his strength, turning the beginner region into his personal hunting ground. News of the murderer spread through the chat channel and terrified already struggling newcomers. Every blackened avatar confirmed another permanent death inside the beginner region. Nobody knew Zhang Rei's name, location, or exact teleportation method. The uncertainty forced innocent lords to divide scarce troops between development and sleepless defense. Zhang Rei's psychological damage spread much farther than his assassins could travel. Meanwhile, Wang Fa continued clearing floors so quickly that even the gifted lords could not understand it. Within minutes, his name had advanced toward the 20th floor, while others remained near the entrance. Zhang Rei recognized that confronting this unknown monster would be suicide, at least for now. Instead, he sought foreign allies who might help him locate and eliminate weaker Great Xia lords. He viewed every agreement as temporary because eventually even his partners would become nourishment. Wang Fa remained unaware of that conspiracy, focusing instead on the tower's increasingly valuable rewards. After another series of victories, he obtained seeds, chickens, military tokens, and enormous experience. Ultimate Ascension converted the entire collection, giving his territory golden crops and new cavalry. Wang Fa left Leah and 11 space crossbow cavalry soldiers fighting on the 20th floor. The squad needed no supervision because Leah's growing power already overwhelmed the tower's defenders. When a purple golden eagle launched hidden feather blades, Leah vanished, with blink before impact. She reappeared at a new angle, drew her bow, and punished the creature before it could turn. The eagle's defeat yielded a purple hourglass that immediately advanced into another golden treasure. Outside the tower, Great Xia observers began wondering whether the mysterious leader possessed triple S-rank talent. Their nation desperately needed such a genius, because hostile civilizations surrounded Blue Star from every direction. Great Xia Prefecture had united numerous human lords precisely to resist those external powers. But powerful alien races were already offering contracts to this generation's most promising newcomers. Sun Fei received several offers after revealing the strength of his S-rank sandstorm talent. The giant clan offered the greatest resources among those attempting to recruit him. Other top races promised orange troops, enough to dominate ordinary newcomers immediately. Every contract concealed obligations toward future wars against Sun Fei's own civilization. His choice would determine whether his talent protected Great Xia or became another weapon against it. The giant clan promised superior resources, but accepting them meant betraying Earth and killing humans. Sun Fei faced a choice between immediate strength and the principles that defined his humanity. Shen Yu received similar attention while steadily expanding her raft across the endless ocean. Unlike Zhang Rei, she refused to regard her fellow humans as convenient sacrifices for alien approval. Wang Fa did not bother considering foreign contracts because his own talent surpassed anything they could offer. His attention shifted when a new secret realm entrance appeared near his expanded territory. At the same time, his golden chickens threatened to devour the precious seedlings growing nearby. Wang Fa ordered the civilians to guard them, knowing their daily eggs could become valuable resources. Before entering unknown territory himself, Wang Fa chose caution rather than reckless confidence. He planned to acquire golden armor, defensive items, and personal levels before leaving his protected manor. The Golden Lord's mansion allowed him to observe and command everything inside his domain from afar. So Leah led 6 crossbow riders toward the life-secret realm, while others explored the wilderness. The new realm overflowed with vegetation, hidden monsters, rare herbs, farmland, and valuable seeds. Wang Fa's expedition immediately encountered poison ivy, concealed beneath an apparently peaceful meadow. The plant's barbed leaves extended suddenly from beneath the grass, turning open ground into a hidden killing zone. Ordinary melee troops would have entered its range before recognizing the danger. Li instead crossed the meadow as a silver afterimage and deliberately triggered every concealed attack. Her movement revealed each plant's position, so the cavalry could eliminate them from safety. The vines attacked with barbed leaves, but Leah's speed carried her beyond their limited reach. Even the cavalry remained fast enough to avoid the sudden strikes while firing from safety. Every defeated plant produced seeds and herbs that ultimate ascension transformed into golden materials. The expedition gathered 40 golden seeds, 3 golden farmlands, and 10 golden medicinal herbs. Wang Fa then discovered that identical golden items could fuse through a star-up mechanism. Combining 2 farmlands created a 1-star field with even faster growth and greater harvests. Star fusion required progressively more identical items, making later upgrades increasingly expensive. Wang Fa could afford that cost because every low-quality duplicate automatically became golden first. What other lords treated as disposable rewards became permanent advancement materials inside his territory. The same mechanism would later apply to walls, equipment, heroes, and nearly every strategic asset. Rouge rice and golden watermelon could now mature within a single day inside his territory. This was not merely food production. It was the foundation for supporting an enormous future population. One medicinal plant, Vajra grass, promised an equally astonishing increase in physical defense. Wang Fa gave 10 stalks to Leah, raising her defense by 2,000 points immediately. Her once vulnerable archer body could now withstand attacks that would annihilate ordinary heroes. Vajra grass alone raised her physical defense from hundreds into the thousands. The herb's value confirmed that secret realms could strengthen heroes without relying solely on experience. Wang Fa began viewing every seed and medicinal plant as another route toward compounding power. His economic and combat systems were becoming impossible to separate. The expedition accumulated more experience, while continuing deeper into the life-secret realm. Elsewhere, Zhang Rei had already murdered 5 lords and stacked his talent 5 times. His confidence grew with every death until he believed even ranked competitors would fall without resistance. The Shadow Clan also provided a system contract meant to bind more useful human collaborators. Zhang planned to exploit Japanese and Korean lords before turning his blades against them later. His greatest concern remained the unknown leader dominating the demon-suppressing tower rankings. That leader's strength was advancing too quickly for Zhang Rei's assassination methods to guarantee success. Great Xia Prefecture also began searching for Wang Fa, hoping to reach him before hostile races did. Their representative was Shu Lin, another talented lord connected to the mysterious life-secret realm. Xu Lin had awakened the S-rank child of the forest and could control powerful living plants. The forest talent matched the life-secret realm so perfectly that hostile vegetation could become his army. Xu Lin's vine dragon carried him above the battlefield, while poisonous growth covered its body. His greatest limitation was mobility, because many controlled plants could not leave their rooted positions. That weakness made Wang Fa's fast cavalry an ideal temporary partner. He was also the anonymous buyer who had purchased Wang Fa's serpent meat for 2,000 copper coins. Rather than seeking personal profit, Xu Lin wanted to protect a possible great Xia genius. When their forces finally encountered each other, Wang Fa communicated through Leah from his distant territory. He immediately guessed that Xu Lin had come to invite him into Great Xia Prefecture. Xu Lin confirmed the invitation and offered intelligence, resources, and the support of human allies. He explained that most Great Xia lords eventually joined the prefecture because unity ensured survival. Wang Fa did not rush to accept, but Xu Lin's sincerity earned more respect than expected. The young forest lord freely shared warnings that could reduce casualties among their countrymen. Their conversation paused when both expeditions prepared to enter the second stage of the secret realm. Xu Lin rode a vine dragon formed from poisonous plants under his command. 8 massive tree spirits followed him on roots that had transformed into walking legs. He also controlled enormous carnivorous plants, though those stationary creatures could not join the advance. Xu Lin had invested experience into himself, leaving his purple elven archers at their initial level. That strategy increased his control over plants, but left his conventional troops comparatively fragile. Leah viewed the controlled tree spirits as neutral rather than hostile, proving Xu Lin's talent had subdued them. For the moment, Wang Fa and Xu Lin shared the same path through the dangerous realm. But cooperation between two gifted lords always carried one unanswered question: which ambition would dominate? The second stage answered with an army of tree spirits advancing through the dense vegetation. Their heavy roots moved slowly, making them effortless targets for Leah's extraordinary speed and range. One arrow tore through bark and emptied the life force of dozens of hostile plants. Leah's extreme agility also increased her firing speed, turning each movement into another attack opportunity. The tree spirits attempted to throw branches, but their motions appeared slowed beside the golden hero. Xu Linsum watched entire groups disappear before his own archers could meaningfully contribute. The difference between purple troops and a developed golden hero became impossible to ignore. Xu Lin was less impressed by the damage than by an attack that ignored conventional distance. He correctly identified Leah's range-enhancing aura as the secret behind Wang Fa's impossible battlefield control. Fresh water and other resources poured from the fallen spirits as the massacre continued. Sun entered separately inside, a flying pyramid formed from condensed desert sand. Poisonous vines struck his shifting walls, but their attacks could not penetrate the dense barrier. Different talents offered different paths forward, yet Wang Fa's squad still advanced with unmatched efficiency. Carnivorous plants attempted to swallow the cavalry, only for the warhorses to leap beyond their tentacles. Leah's aura allowed every rider to answer from 600 meters away without approaching danger. Outside the realm, Zhang Rei strengthened his alliance with a Korean lord possessing danger-sensing talent. That talent helped them avoid powerful targets while selecting territories too weak to resist an ambush. Other lords suspected Zhang Rei could teleport after every murder because his attacks crossed enormous distances. They had not learned that most jumps came from limited scrolls supplied by the Shadow Clan. Once those consumables vanished, Zhang Rei would need another sponsor to maintain his killing speed. His danger-sensing ally became essential for avoiding battles that wasted irreplaceable tools. Their partnership rested entirely on fear and shared profit rather than trust. Fear spread rapidly, and many newcomers wondered whether he would arrive while they slept. Inside the life-secret realm, more than 40 lords gathered near the final boss area. They waited for Wang Fa to begin, hoping to contribute damage and steal part of the reward. Shen Yu had already reached level 7, proving that S-rank talents still dominated ordinary competitors. Yet Wang Fa's soldiers harvested seeds, farmland, fresh water, and time hourglasses by the hundreds. Fresh water mattered because many lords had spawned in deserts, islands, or toxic regions. Time hourglasses could accelerate plants and divine trees far beyond natural growth. Seeds promised an endless food supply once placed inside Wang Fa's enhanced farmland. Every category solved a different weakness that usually slowed territorial development. Ultimate Ascension converted the entire harvest into gold before anyone could understand its true value. His territory soon held rice, watermelons, peach trees, chickens, farmland, and abundant golden water. Golden civilians handled every task, allowing Wang Fa to enjoy refined porridge instead of struggling to survive. While other lords guarded fires and rationed food, he was already building a self-sustaining paradise. Leah then led her squad into the third stage, where the giant grapevine boss waited. Zhulin, Sunfei, Shen Yu, and the surrounding lords prepared to support the coming battle. Wang Fa began immediately because dinner inside his territory was nearly ready. Rather than meeting the boss head-on, Leah and the cavalry steadily retreated across the battlefield. Once they reached 300 meters, the giant plant remained trapped within their extended firing range. Repeated spatial volleys erased more than a third of its health with every coordinated assault. The giant grapevine controlled a wide area but could not close 600 meters quickly. Whenever it advanced, Leah shifted the formation backward before ordering another volley. The boss spent its strength chasing enemies, who always remained outside striking distance. Wang Fa defeated superior attributes through geometry, rather than accepting unnecessary melee. The grapevine revealed a stronger second form, at level 25, but distance still neutralized its strength. Within minutes, Wang Fa's formation destroyed both health bars and completed the life secret realm. The victory yielded a giant tree seed, garden blueprint, hero token, hero slot, time sand, and storage treasure. Every reward rose to gold quality, transforming an excellent victory into an impossible fortune. Storage gourd expanded Wang Fa's limited inventory by 200 additional spaces. Golden time sand combined into hourglasses, capable of accelerating the divine willow. The peach garden blueprint promised agriculture stronger than ordinary open farmland. Each reward connected directly with another system already operating inside the territory. But the extra hero slot mattered most because Wang Fa could now recruit another top-tier commander. His golden giant tree seed was actually the Great Dao Divine Willow, a unique territorial divine tree. Only one divine tree could grow within each territory, making the planting decision permanent. The willow multiplied spiritual energy throughout Wang Fa's land and strengthened everyone living beneath it. Wang Fa spent 81 golden hourglasses to accelerate its growth immediately. Combined with his territory's bonuses, one day became equivalent to 130 days. Then he used the golden hero token and summoned the historical general Li Yuanba. Unlike Lia's elegant range style, Li Yuanba embodied overwhelming close-range destruction. His four symbols aura multiplied strength across an army, while golden rock reincarnation awakened mythical blood. Li Yuanba carried two enormous hammers and preferred meeting every obstacle directly. The golden rock bloodline temporarily tripled his strength, speed, and attack frequency. His heroic aura also empowered allied melee units, rather than merely enhancing himself. Wang Fa had gained Lia's opposite, giving his army answers at every distance. Even at level 1, the historical general surpassed ordinary golden heroes in raw attributes. Wang Fa invested more than 12,000 experience points and pushed Li Yuanba to level 4. The golden storage gourd expanded his inventory from 30 slots to 230. Next, Wang Fa prepared the garden blueprint and considered how to finance its costly construction. His golden farmland had already produced 1-star rouge rice, capable of raising basic attributes. Unlike ordinary meals, this rice permanently strengthened whoever consumed it within a daily limit. Golden water and level 7 fuel improved the porridge before garden bonuses were considered. Wang Fa could sell diluted blue portions while reserving golden food for his territory. One harvest therefore financed construction and strengthened the army simultaneously. Wang Fa exchanged ordinary water for porridge, preserving enough quality to sell it as blue food. He listed 5,000 portions at once, creating an opportunity worth 500,000 copper coins. The chat channel erupted because blue food could permanently strengthen whoever consumed it. New lords rushed to purchase before richer families could monopolize the listing. Every bowl granted several increases until the consumer reached the daily cap. Some buyers stopped early to preserve remaining porridge for tomorrow's growth. Wang Fa had created the region's first fast market for permanent attribute food. Zhang Rui and his accomplices attempted to buy some, only to discover Wang Fa had blocked them. Other lords drank eagerly as their strength, agility, constitution, and spirit began rising together. Shen Yu purchased enough for herself and the forces aboard her newly constructed green-quality ship. Each consumer faced a daily attribute limit, encouraging them to save extra portions for tomorrow. The sales provided Wang Fa enough currency to construct the blue-quality garden at last. As always, he built the cheaper version first and allowed Ultimate Ascension to transform it afterward. The result was a golden peach garden that accelerated every plant growing inside its boundaries. Combined with the great Tao divine willow, one day of growth now equaled 180 days. The acceleration applied every day, rather than consuming a limited-use item. Ancient plants could therefore mature inside a beginner territory within weeks. The peach garden's 100-year bonus altered crops the moment they entered its influence. Wang Fa's agricultural buildings resembled a cultivation sacred land rather than farmland. The garden also added 100 years directly to its plants and raised mature crops to 5 stars. Wang Fa's peaches, rice, and watermelons suddenly became treasures capable of changing entire armies. Golden food could raise attributes by hundreds every day, far beyond the limits of blue porridge. Eating several different dishes increased the daily ceiling even further for everyone in the territory. Wang Fa enjoyed rouge rice, pearl eggs, and other golden food while power flowed through his body. Pearl eggs favored agility and luck, while rice provided broader physical improvement. Different dishes increased the total daily allowance, instead of competing for one shared limit. Golden watermelon brought intense satisfaction even without permanent attributes. Meals became advancement sessions for every resident rather than simple nourishment. That single meal granted enormous combat attributes alongside precious charm and luck. Li Yuanba, the cavalry, and even the civilians received the same daily transformation. Wang Fa's advantage was no longer limited to superior quality. It now compounded every sunrise. His 11 cavalry soldiers divided into night watches, while the heroes recovered from the day's battles. During that darkness, Zhang Rui and his Korean accomplices resumed their campaign of silent slaughter. They teleported between vulnerable territories and killed newcomers before nearby lords understood the danger. The assassins targeted sleeping commanders first because a dead lord meant territorial collapse. Zhang Rui shared resources with his partners, so they remained useful accomplices. Neither partner realized he planned to sacrifice them once their talents stopped benefiting him. Every successful raid made the eventual betrayal more profitable. Xulin awoke to discover 12 portraits had turned black in the regional chat. The murderer eventually approached a territory protected by something resembling a massive serpent in darkness. Realizing the target was dangerous, Zhang Rui spent a precious group teleportation scroll to escape. The retreat saved only his strongest assassins and both collaborators, leaving the rest behind. Zhang Rui survived, but the encounter proved his danger-sensing strategy could still fail catastrophically. Wang Fa remained completely safe behind the golden fence and his century-old divine willow. He suspected the tree could destroy even the strongest monster anywhere in the beginner region. At dawn, golden civilians prepared breakfast while Wang Fa planned his return to the demon-suppressing tower. The tower contained 100 floors, and he intended to clear everyone before the event ended. Leah resumed command because her aura could extend even Li Yuanba's normally tiny melee reach. Fresh peaches were harvested at astonishing speed as enhanced civilians moved like experienced cultivators. Inside the tower, Leah tripled the army's range, while Li Yuanba crushed anything surviving the first volley. Their campaign produced 62,000 experience points and another collection of valuable drops. Wang Fa concentrated that experience until both heroes reached level 10. Leah's aura capacity expanded again, while Li Yuanba's raw strength climbed sharply. Cavalry gathered loot after every floor without interrupting the advance. Wang Fa treated the tower like a production line for troops and equipment. Wang Fa raised both heroes to level 10, then upgraded every reward through Ultimate Ascension. New level 10 golden equipment offered far greater attributes than Leah's earlier low-level treasures. One discarded warehouse blueprint became the foundation for a golden treasure vault. Wang Fa again constructed the white version first, spending ordinary materials and copper coins. Golden light transformed it into a fortress-like vault with extraordinary durability and dual defenses. His territory now protected not only people and buildings, but an expanding stockpile of priceless resources. The treasure vault possessed defenses comparable to a major fortification. Thieves entering the settlement would still need to penetrate another golden structure. Capacity organized materials that had begun overwhelming Wang Fa's backpack. Security and logistics advanced together through one discarded warehouse blueprint. Meanwhile, Zhang Rui rebuilt his losses with 15 purple shadow servants supplied by alien forces. Although only 7 hidden blade assassins remained, their accumulated levels made them increasingly lethal. Zhang Rui selected another harmless territory through his allies' talent and slaughtered everyone inside. Every easy victory restored his confidence and pushed him closer to attacking Xulin. Wang Fa, by contrast, entered the 21st tower floor, with 2 heroes and 14 cavalry soldiers. Li Yuanba destroyed the monsters personally, converting each victory into experience and more troop tokens. 30 golden tokens soon summoned 30 additional space crossbow cavalry riders. With 44 elite riders assembled, Wang Fa broke through the 30th floor in 35 hours. A global announcement declared him Blue Star's first newcomer ever to achieve that record. The message named Great Xia but concealed Wang Fa's identity from hostile observers. Some nations celebrated while others immediately searched for ways to recruit him. Great Xia leaders feared alien races had already purchased his loyalty with impossible resources. Only Wang Fa knew no external faction had contributed anything to his rise. Leaders from every major nation stared at the message in shock and suspicion. Many assumed no unaffiliated newcomer could grow this fast without support from a powerful alien race. Their mistake was simple. Even the greatest alien investment could not reproduce ultimate ascension. Sun Fei realized that ordinary progress would never make his sandstorm talent worthy of Wang Fa's attention. Other geniuses faced the same humiliating truth as the gap continued widening. Before climbing further, Wang Fa fed every newly recruited soldier Golden Rouge rice porridge. The food multiplied their attributes before they ever entered a serious battle. Even veteran cavalry riders regarded Li Yuanba with fear after witnessing his overwhelming hammer strikes. Leah herself knew a full-powered attack from the historical general could threaten her life. On the 40th floor, Wang Fa withheld his ranged legion to study Li Yuanba's true fighting style. The elephant demon carried a sacred wheel and relied on heavy close-range attacks. Li Yuanba answered without dodging because direct force mattered more than avoiding damage. Their weapons collided hard enough to deform metal and shake the tower chamber. The historical general dominated, even without a support from Lia's arrows. Their opponent was a powerful elephant demon carrying a Vajra and a golden Dharma wheel. Li Yuanba met the monster directly and struck with enough force to deform its solid weapon. The Vajra tore backward into the tower wall, leaving the elephant demon defenseless before him. Victory on the 40th floor granted vast experience, purple tokens, and porridge. Ultimate Ascension produced 15 new cavalry soldiers and 15 golden civilians from those rewards. Wang Fa now commanded 59 riders capable of firing 236 bolts in one volley. He invested 200,000 experience points into Li Yuanba, raising him to level 17. The general's 4 symbols aura multiplied his strength to more than 23,000 points. His health and mana grew more slowly, leaving prolonged magic as a possible weakness. Wang Fa compensated through equipment, food, physicians, and soon Xuanwu. Li Yuanba's role was destroying the strongest enemy before support could fail. Every system inside the territory covered another hero's natural limitation. Raw power on that scale turned conventional tower monsters into targets waiting for execution. Outside, Shen Yu faced violent waves that even her ocean talent could not easily suppress. Inside the tower, a flood dragon monster tried to bypass Li Yuanba and strike Lia's ranged formation. Leah blinked through the air and fired Sky Piercer at the monster's flying dragonhorn sword. The spatial rupture swallowed the weapon and surrounding fragments before it could reach her soldiers. Li Yuanba pursued the exposed creature and smashed its body apart with one decisive hammer blow. Clearing the 50th floor triggered another announcement across the entire star system. The reward included experience, military tokens, equipment, and a medical center blueprint. It also revealed a forbidden mission that would release every sealed monster above the 50th floor. Accepting immediately would send that entire horde against Wang Fa's territory at once. Wang Fa refused to rush, choosing to develop for another day before breaking the seal. He converted the medical blueprint and constructed an ordinary clinic using cheap materials. Ultimate Ascension transformed it into a golden medical hall with 30 trained specialists. 3 red quality physicians and 27 purple apprentices rose directly to gold under his talent. The physicians discovered that his 8-star peaches could become medicine of unbelievable potency. Their peach pills restored millions of health points and extended lifespan by years with every dose. Even Li Yuanba's enormous health pool could be completely restored by a single pill. Wang Fa equipped better boots and continued raising both heroes while the clinic prepared its first medicines. Li Yuanba reached level 20, and Lia's faster growth carried her upward by 10 additional levels. The rest of Blue Star watched Wang Fa's achievements, while some traders dreamed of selling him to alien races. Inside his territory, 79 cavalry riders and 45 civilians continued working without serious injuries. The physicians were astonished that an army clearing 50 floors had returned without anyone needing treatment. Their greatest problem was not wounded soldiers, but finding auxiliary herbs worthy of Wang Fa's golden peaches. With the forbidden mission still waiting, Wang Fa now possessed one final day to prepare for catastrophe. Another opportunity appeared when Wang Fa discovered the secret realm of time near his territory. Unlike the life realm, this place offered no fertile land or harvest waiting to be collected. Its reward depended entirely on striking the bronze bell before mechanical guardians overwhelmed the challenger. Wang Fa selected Li Yuanba because sustained physical destruction matched the trial perfectly. The historical general welcomed a target that could survive more than one hammer blow. The realm centered on a bronze bell protected by mechanical puppets made from gears and riveted pipes. Li Yuanba attacked the bell while hundreds of bronze hooks failed to pierce his reinforced body. The cavalry redirected their fire toward the puppets because their attacks could not damage the bell itself. Li Yuanba activated Golden Rock Reincarnation, tripling his strength, speed, and attack frequency. Golden wings seemed to awaken through his blood as every movement became violently faster. The bronze bell absorbed millions of damage, while its guardians continued launching useless hooks. Li's cavalry kept those puppets away, so Li Yuanba never needed to interrupt his rhythm. When the transformation ended, golden hourglasses allowed him to repeat its strongest interval. For 50 seconds, his hammers became a continuous storm against the ancient timekeeping artifact. Over 10 minutes, the historical general inflicted nearly 30 million points of damage alone. The completed trial yielded enough temporal power to accelerate the divine willow by another century. Its accumulated growth reached 273 years, turning it into Wang Fa's strongest defender. The tree's roots covered the peach garden, while its branches watched every wall. Spiritual energy became a dense atmosphere felt by everyone living inside the settlement. Its enormous constitution allowed the willow to endure attacks meant for fortified buildings. Wang Fa now possessed a living guardian whose power increased simply by surviving time. The towering tree possessed millions of health and enough attack power to erase the escaped demon horde. Additional tower battles produced city wall and arrow tower blueprints alongside abundant copper coins. Wang Fa built 2 blue walls first, then let Ultimate Ascension raise both into golden defenses. The new fortifications surrounded his expanding settlement with imposing gates and pavilion towers. He also constructed a poison arrow tower directly above the protected wall. The tower carried its own lethal venom rather than relying on ordinary ammunition. Its elevated position provided clear firing lanes beyond the approaching battlefield. Because the supporting wall shielded it, enemies could not disable the weapon first. Wang Fa had transformed one tower into a protected execution platform. Enemies would need to destroy the golden fortification before they could even damage the weapon. Every resident ate upgraded food before nightfall, strengthening soldiers, heroes, physicians, and workers together. Once his people slept, Wang Fa finally accepted the forbidden demon-suppressing tower mission. He chose the final preparation night deliberately, leaving the heroes rested and residents safely indoors. Night Watch cavalry remained alert while the Divine Willow sensed every movement beyond the walls. Wang Fa kept full control from the manor instead of exposing himself on the battlements. The Forbidden Seal opened only after every defensive layer was ready. Tower's seal tore open, releasing 50 bosses from the upper floors at once. Blood-red demonic light pierced the sky and scattered the clouds above neighboring territories. Cold winds swept across the wasteland as terrified nearby lords watched from a distance. The escaped monsters believed 50 simultaneous bosses would overwhelm any beginner defense. They had no idea Wang Fa had designed this battle as a controlled weapons test. A 30-meter nine-headed insect demon king led the charging horde toward Wang Fa's territory. 5 monsters possessed red quality, making them far stronger than anything ordinary newcomers could face. Even Li Yuanba could not survive a prolonged duel against the Demon King without complete equipment. Wang Fa ordered him to wait because the battle was meant to test the new fortifications. The horde crashed against the walls after flight suppression dragged airborne monsters toward the ground. Their own momentum injured them, while the Golden Wall remained completely unharmed. The Poison Arrow Tower answered with explosive attacks far beyond the boss's defensive limits. Furious monsters unleashed thunder gales, demonic sound, and every remaining skill against the barrier. When the smoke cleared, the wall showed no mark and reflected damage through its thorns effect. Every desperate attack only stripped away more of the demon's remaining health. Li Yuanba entered Golden Rock form as Leah restored her range aura across the army. The 9-headed insect created fleeing clones once the battle turned against it. Before they escaped, blue-gold willow branches extended beyond the territory and pierced every clone. The divine willow deliberately held them alive until Wang Fa decided the test was complete. Only then did his forces exterminate all 50 bosses and end the forbidden mission. Wang Fa chose extermination instead of the harder sealing objective because both paths produced his desired tower. The remaining monsters died beneath arrows, artillery, hammers, thunder, and willow branches. No defender fell, and the residents emerged once the demonic sky returned to normal. The entire catastrophe ended as another profitable harvest for the territory. Ultimate Ascension transformed the restored demon-suppressing tower into a golden territorial asset. The tower could imprison bosses, preserve their souls, and release them as future defenders. Monsters trapped inside accepted their new role because golden advancement dramatically increased their power. Wang Fa had converted a regional event into a permanent monster legion. Every future tower victory could expand that reserve without consuming population capacity. 38 surviving captives inside also advanced into golden bosses, loyal to the tower's rules. Those monsters became another defensive legion Wang Fa could release during future invasions. The Forbidden Victory awarded experience, equipment, blueprints, a troop pool, a hero token, and another hero slot. A universal announcement declared Wang Fa had cleared 100 floors in only 53 hours. The announcement repeated across the universe and remained visible long enough for every major race to notice. Veteran lords compared his speed with records set by ancient civilizations and found no equal. Some assumed the tower must have malfunctioned because a newcomer could not logically survive its final mission. Others immediately ordered intelligence networks to identify the concealed Great Xia Lord. He had not merely broken Blue Star's record. He had shattered the historical record of the universe. Across distant worlds, ancient powers turned their attention toward the unknown Great Xia newcomer. Zhang Rui immediately recognized a chance to win greater favor by exposing Wang Fa to the Protoss. Meanwhile, every reward inside Wang Fa's inventory transformed into gold quality. The tower victory also produced a 3-star Golden Lord skill book with immense future potential. Wang Fa used his hero token, triggering the pavilion's rare mythical general effect. Golden doors opened beneath rolling thunder instead of Leah's quiet void radiance. Wen Zhong arrived already carrying the authority of a minister and veteran commander. His third eye judged the territory and recognized the extraordinary foundation surrounding Wang Fa. Unlike Leah's early challenge, Wen Zhong quickly accepted a lord, capable of summoning him at gold quality. Grand Tutor Wen Zhong emerged with the yin-yang whips, black Qilin, and a truth-seeing third eye. His lightning punishment aura gave allied attacks a chance to paralyze enemies across an entire formation. Ultimate Ascension upgraded both Wen Zhong's sacred weapon and his black Qilin mount. His future identity as ruler of the Thunder Department granted complete immunity to lightning. Wang Fa now possessed Lia's range, Li Yuanba's strength, and Wen Zhong's magical battlefield control. The Golden Troop Pool offered a second military branch called Titan Elephant Soldiers. Producing one normally required flesh, ore, timber, copper, and a large payment. Military tokens could instead convert through the pool and yield 2 elephants each. That conversion gave Wang Fa flexibility between rapid recruitment and resource-based production. The troop pool could sustain growth, even when tower tokens became less common. Each colossal elephant carried a driver, ranged fighter, and formation bearer upon its armored back. Wen Zhong immediately understood how terrifying an organized elephant legion would become. Wang Fa produced the first Titan elephant, then raised Wen Zhong directly to level 30. The general's power surged, but his strategic experience mattered as much as his raw attributes. The Protoss soon contacted Wang Fa through Zhang Rui and offered extravagant resources for his allegiance. They also included images meant to appeal to vanity, desire, and the prestige of divine companionship. Zhang Rui expected Wang Fa to accept because he could not imagine refusing such wealth. The offer's hidden price was loyalty to the race that had already enslaved other human geniuses. Wang Fa saw a gilded chain rather than an opportunity. Their proposal included starred golden buildings, military tokens, hero tokens, and carefully selected companions. Such treatment supposedly belonged only to the greatest direct descendants of divine bloodlines. Yet Wang Fa calculated that repeated dungeon rewards could eventually fuse into the same starred items. Nothing they offered justified surrendering his independence or betraying Blue Star. He rejected the Protoss without hesitation, shocking negotiators who believed gold could purchase anyone. Then Wang Fa examined the sacred beast rewarded for his first-place tower ranking. Xuanwu possessed an enormous health pool and could distribute incoming damage across allied troops. Its shell carried the weight of a sacred mountain, while water gathered naturally around its body. Damage transfer prevented enemies from focusing one vulnerable hero or commander. South Sea healing restored the distributed wounds faster as combat continued. An army protected by Xuanwu became harder to kill with every passing minute. Its South Sea waters healed the entire formation every second based on Xuanwu's maximum health. The longer a battle continued, the stronger that healing became, until ordinary attrition lost all meaning. With Xuanwu present, killing Wang Fa's army now required overcoming shared damage and relentless restoration. Wang Fa raised the sacred beast to level 7 and continued expanding his economic foundation. He constructed a golden ranch where time accelerated and animal production multiplied dramatically. The pasture ensured livestock matured quickly without consuming valuable farmland. Golden civilians handled feeding and collection with the same extreme efficiency used in mining. Pearl eggs became a stable source of luck and agility instead of an occasional luxury. Wang Fa's territory now produced military food on an industrial schedule. 3 guinea fowl could eventually produce 500 pearl eggs every day inside that pasture. A new golden shipyard offered master blueprints, reduced material costs, and 100-fold construction speed. 5 docks operated simultaneously, allowing complete groups of ships to launch together. Each upgraded craft gained stronger hulls and equipment the moment ownership transferred to Wang Fa. The shipyard's workers could construct submarines, despite beginning from an ordinary white blueprint. Naval weakness disappeared before river and ocean enemies could exploit it. 30 shipwrights rose to gold quality the moment they became part of Wang Fa's property. Ordinary vessels, requiring hours, could now leave 5 docks within less than 2 minutes. Wang Fa needed that naval capacity because another treasure map pointed beneath the surrounding sea. On the Protoss homeworld, powerful leaders studied Zhang Rei's report with increasingly grim expressions. They compared Wang Fa to Wu Roken, their own triple-ranked divine child chosen for this invasion. Wu Ruoken already controlled starred golden buildings and troops supplied by the entire Protoss hierarchy. Still, Wang Fa's refusal suggested his hidden talent valued those treasures as ordinary materials. The shipyard completed a white submarine, which Ultimate Ascension transformed into a massive golden vessel. Hull, defenses, mechanical arms, mines, and torpedoes all advanced together. Wang Fa brought Wen Zhong, Li Wanba, and Xuan Wu aboard before meeting Shen Yu at sea. Leah remained with the cavalry because land monsters still provided experience for the coming invasion. Shen Yu welcomed the expedition after recognizing Wang Fa as the mysterious tower leader. Her ocean talent calmed the surrounding water, while the submarine prepared to dive. The alliance gave Wang Fa local guidance without surrendering command of his mission. Shen Yu stared in disbelief, because her own blue ship already represented extraordinary newcomer progress. Yet Wang Fa had produced a golden submarine as casually as building another common boat. Shen Yu examined its enormous durability, defenses, attack power, and 3 independent weapon systems. The interior held the entire party, without the cramped conditions of her first bamboo raft. Mechanical arms collected resources while mines and torpedoes protected the route. For Shen Yu, the vessel revealed how far the anonymous leader had moved beyond every rival. The vessel could carry 20 passengers comfortably, while diving far beyond ordinary beginner technology. At the same time, Zhang Rei arrived before Wu Roken and concealed the visible signs of murder and robbery. The Divine Child's territory already contained 2-star and 3-star golden structures supplied by his race. Zhang Rei delivered every detail he knew, hoping to turn the Protoss against Wang Fa immediately. Wu Ruken suffered golden cracks across his body, but divine medicine quickly stabilized the condition. The Protoss had prepared too carefully to let their champion's weakness delay the coming assault. Wu Ruoken teleported 1-star golden soldiers toward Wang Fa's region to locate the hidden territory. Once coordinates were confirmed, the conflict would become a direct territorial clash rather than a siege. Wang Fa sensed the approaching threat and ordered Leah to hunt monsters with all 79 cavalry riders. Her range aura allowed them to sweep the wilderness rapidly and gather experience for Xuanwu. Wen Zhong continued toward the underwater treasure, using 5 elements escape beyond the submarine. His black Qilin moved through seawater without resistance under the same mystical technique. The paired whips became dragons that curved around obstacles before striking their targets. Lightning spread efficiently through the surrounding water and reached entire monster groups. The ocean expedition became an ideal battlefield for the future Thunder Lord. Gold escape carried him through metal, while water escape let him move underwater as though on land. His paired whips transformed into black and white dragons beneath the sea. Casual Strike released lightning that annihilated an entire group of electric eel monsters. The defeated eels yielded experience, copper coins, and larvae that became golden under Wang Fa's talent. Wenzhong then confronted giant jellyfish whose purple quality offered no meaningful resistance. Their enormous bodies filled the water and attempted to surround the golden submarine. Wen Zhong attacked from outside, preventing their tentacles from reaching the hull. Every destroyed jellyfish added more larvae and experience to Wang Fa's growing stockpile. Xuanwu advanced repeatedly, while the expedition continued toward the treasure marker. Silver lightning burst through the water and destroyed them before they reached the submarine. Their experience raised Xuanwu to level 30, expanding its health to 140 million. Wang Fa equipped all three heroes with level 25 golden helmets from the tower rewards. He also prepared Titan Elephant reserves, healing pills, and 50 ships for the coming Protoss attack. When the expedition reached the treasure location, Wen Zhong eliminated the final jellyfish guardians. The open cache contained time sand, copper coins, blueprints, skill scrolls, an accessory, and military tokens. Ultimate Ascension elevated every item, producing 1,000 golden hourglasses and 50 golden tokens. Wang Fa spent part of the temporal reward on the Great Tao Divine Willow. The sacred tree's growth reached 511 years, magnifying every defensive attribute again. 2 new wall blueprints, a fish pond, and a fountain of resurrection promised further territorial evolution. The Golden Demon Suppressing Tower also upgraded a captured Dragon King whale into another golden boss. 39 golden bosses now waited inside, ready to defend Wang Fa when Wu Ruokan finally arrived. Wang Fa immediately converted the treasure blueprints into 2 walls, a fish pond, and a fountain of resurrection. Fusing spare walls raised his original golden fortification to 2-star quality with even greater durability. The resurrection fountain could restore dead soldiers every 3 days and fallen heroes every 15. Even Wang Fa himself could return once every 3 months if the territory survived. This single building transformed fatal casualties into temporary setbacks during the approaching war. Wang Fa used all 50 military tokens on space crossbow cavalry because elephants were poor city defenders. He also raised Leah and Li Yuanba to level 30 before Protoss scouts located his territory. More than 100 golden warships were secured along the walls as improvised artillery platforms. The ships looked absurd sitting above dry land, but their cannons retained full naval firepower. Golden barriers protected each hull, while Titan crews rotated ammunition through every gun deck. Damaged vessels could be replaced because the shipyard continued producing new ones behind the walls. Wang Fa had turned industrial output into a defensive advantage no static tower could match. 20 Titan Elephant units climbed aboard to operate their upgraded cannons and formation banners. The sight defied reason. Wang Fa had created an entire golden fleet before 3 beginner days had passed. Wu Ruokan's territory was still superior in building stars, supported by centuries of Protoss preparation. His walls carried golden arrow towers, divine mages, priests, and 3 1-star golden heroes. Calamity scrolls summoned earthquakes, skyfire, acid rain, thunder, and powerful protective barriers. Wu Ruokan's race had created these scrolls through its own heavenly Tao rather than ordinary crafting. Their effects therefore exceeded most golden consumables carrying the same visible rank. Wang Fa studied each disaster instead of assuming quality alone determined its danger. That caution allowed Wenzhong to seize the thunder before it struck his own forces. Wang Fa answered with his own scrolls, wrapping the territory in a barrier with 30 million durability. Then the territorial clash began, placing both domains close enough for direct bombardment. The system forced each settlement into a shared battlefield where walls faced one another. Retreat meant abandoning the territory, while victory promised the enemy's accumulated resources. Wu Ruokan expected superior building stars to decide the exchange quickly. Wang Fa intended to prove sustained firepower could erase that inherited advantage. Wenzhong seized control of the enemy's thunderstorm and redirected it toward Wu Ruokan's walls. Li Yuanba enlarged his hammers through Thunderhammer and charged beneath the falling lightning. More than 600 cannonballs exploded across the Protoss fortifications in a single barrage. Flames rolled along the walls while spatial bolts appeared among defenders behind the parapets. Protoss priests struggled to heal soldiers faster than the mixed damage arrived. Divine mages answered with coordinated spells aimed at Wang Fa's weaker defensive sections. The battlefield became a contest between prepared inheritance and impossible production speed. 129 cavalry riders added 516 spatial bolts to the assault. Wu Ruokan's mages and arrow tower returned fire while acid rain weakened Wang Fa's defenses. Both walls lost durability, but Wang Fa's warships provided far more sustained long-range firepower. Whenever a vessel emptied its weapons, another newly built warship replaced it on the rampart. Wu Ruokan's priests healed damaged soldiers, while his heroes prepared to stop Wang Fa's advancing champions. Li Yuanba and Wen Zhong left the walls beside 38 Golden Tower bosses. The Dragon King whale remained behind because its enormous aquatic body could not join this battlefield. Wu Ruochen revealed Triple S-rank Celestial Radiance, a talent capable of ignoring Xuanwu's damage transfer. The golden light did not spread damage through the allied formation, as Xuanwu expected. It selected targets directly and erased them before healing could take effect. For the first time, Wang Fa faced power specifically capable of bypassing his sacred beast. Wu Ruohan believed this rule-level advantage would finally force Wang Fa to surrender. Golden bosses vanished under the light before their shared protection could distribute the fatal damage. Li Yuanba paralyzed the shield-bearing Protoss general through Wen Zhong's lightning punishment aura. Golden healing pills restored millions of health whenever Wang Fa's champions suffered serious wounds. Wu Ruochen finally unleashed celestial radiance across Wang Fa's walls, evaporating Leah and the cavalry. For one breath, the Protoss believed the battle had ended, and their divine child had won. Then the Fountain of Resurrection activated, returning every fallen soldier and hero at full strength. Golden light gathered above the spring before restoring bodies destroyed without remains. Leah returned, with her equipment intact, and immediately resumed command of the ranged formation. Cavalry reappeared beside her, as though celestial radiance had never touched them. Wu Ruokan's ultimate talent had merely triggered a building effect he never anticipated. Wu Ruokan's overwhelming attack had consumed immense power without creating a single permanent casualty. The Great Dao Divine Willow survived the assault with Xuanwu's healing, supporting its damaged body. Desperate Protoss leaders projected their patriarch across realms, violating the game's newcomer protection rules. They acted because Wu Ruokan's defeat would disgrace the race and expose their failed investment. The projection's arrival distorted the sky with pressure no beginner unit could imitate. System protection suppressed his true attributes, but could not erase his cosmic experience. Wang Fa understood the Protoss preferred cheating to admitting their chosen genius had lost. Even suppressed by the region, that projection represented a genuine cosmic lord beyond Wu Ruokan's strength. Wang Fa understood that ordinary resistance could not defeat an enemy who had crossed the rules themselves. He ordered the Divine Willow to guide a heavenly lightning tribulation directly onto the battlefield. The sacred tree accepted destruction because its lord could revive after mutual annihilation. Wenzhong helped control the descending thunder, while Xuanwu isolated every allied life. The patriarch attempted to overpower the tribulation before multiple colored bolts converged. Wang Fa transformed the enemy's illegal intervention into a punishment from the world's own rules. Xuanwu canceled damage transfer, so the Willow's self-destruction would not kill every allied unit. Crimson Purple, Golden Silver, and Azure Lightning converged upon the sacred tree. The resulting catastrophe destroyed Wang Fa, Wu Ruokan, and the invading projection together. A global announcement declared Wang Fa dead, sending shockwaves through every watching civilization. Great Xia observers mourned before any confirmation could explain what had happened. Alien factions celebrated briefly, believing the most dangerous human newcomer had disappeared. Zhang Wei saw an opportunity to claim rewards for intelligence that supposedly enabled the victory. None of them knew the Fountain had already begun reconstructing Wang Fa inside his territory. But the Resurrection Fountain restored its lord, proving Wang Fa had planned even for mutual destruction. Wu Ruohan could not return because his illegal entry had invalidated substitute death and resurrection protections. The great Xia newcomer had killed a Protoss Triple S-rank talent and survived a cosmic patriarch's interference. Blue Star's mysterious importance drew renewed attention from powers studying the universe's oldest secrets. Wang Fa's two-star wall remained barely standing, yet automatic repair had already begun restoring it. His territory suffered no permanent casualties, despite fighting an entire Protoss invasion force. Wu Ruokan's dropped resources included hero tokens, sculptures, a troop pool, experience, and a promotion medal. The illegal intruder lost nearly everything because system punishment invalidated his protections. His carefully supplied inheritance became the foundation for Wang Fa's next advancement. Even a defeated enemy's Triple S-rank skill book entered Ultimate Ascension's golden transformation. The Protoss had delivered more value through failure than their original recruitment offer contained. The medal revealed Ultimate Ascension's next stage. Every owned item could rise to 10-star gold quality. Completing that advancement would transform Wang Fa's already impossible advantage into absolute domination. He raised his personal level to 10, gaining another hero slot and lord skill slot. The recruitment pavilion summoned Zhang Jiao, the historical typing Taoist and master of battlefield sorcery. He arrived carrying the legacy of the Yellow Turban movement and authority over wind, rain, and thunder. His role differed from Wen Zhong because spellcasting mattered more than dueling strength. Wang Fa finally gained a hero designed to scale with enormous numbers of allied units. The larger his territory became, the more dangerous Zhang Jiao's wisdom techniques would grow. Zhang Jiao's wisdom aura multiplied spirit, while scattered beings could become Yellow Turban warriors. Hero sculptures then provided fragments that advanced Wenzhong to 2-star gold quality. The upgraded general gained stronger attributes, skills, and a larger aura across Wang Fa's army. A newly obtained troop pool produced wind and rain mages to support Zhang Jiao's magical damage. Wang Fa's damaged walls kept repairing, while his territory prepared for further enemies. The Golden Blacksmith Shop upgraded 30 workers and every tool inside it at once. Each smith possessed master-level knowledge covering armor, weapons, accessories, and specialized sets. They examined every troop branch before assigning attributes matching battlefield roles. Nothing was mass-produced blindly because gold materials were too valuable to waste on poor combinations. Wang Fa's equipment advantage became organized doctrine rather than a pile of powerful items. Its master smiths designed specialized equipment sets for Wang Fa, his heroes, soldiers, and production staff. Wang Fa's return set ignored offense and focused entirely on health, defense speed, and survival. After the Protoss assassination attempt, protecting the Lord mattered more than giving him personal damage. Other sets enhanced cavalry range, elephant durability, mage power, physician support, and worker efficiency. Repeated golden equipment could eventually fuse all the way toward 10-star quality. The universe's strongest races had now located Wang Fa and learned that Wu Ruokan was dead. Several planned to send Blue Star Zone recruited triple S-rank traders against him next. Wang Fa welcomed that strategy because defeating them would advance Ultimate Ascension. He replanted the Divine Willow from a new seed after its sacrifice against the Protoss Patriarch. The previous tree had died permanently because the tribulation destroyed its life rather than merely damaging it. Wang Fa still possessed a new seed and enough time artifacts to restore the defensive role. Improved star quality compensated for the replacement tree's shorter age. Sacrifice had delayed growth, but ultimately produced an even stronger Sacred Guardian. 1,000 hourglasses accelerated the reborn tree by 274 years. Although younger than its predecessor, its 4-star golden quality made it significantly stronger. Wang Fa raised Zhang Jiao to level 30 and placed the Dragon King Whale inside the golden fish pond. Over 3 days, his army expanded to 200 cavalry, 100 elephants, and 100 mages. The blacksmith shop produced enough equipment for every person in the territory to wear a 5-star golden set. Workers gained movement and production attributes instead of unnecessary combat bonuses. Physicians received mana and treatment enhancements suited to the medical hall. Shipwrights wore protection, allowing them to repair vessels during dangerous conditions. Wang Fa's civilians were no longer defenseless liabilities during a territorial invasion. Zhang Jiao's specialized armor multiplied his combat effectiveness several times through spirit and magic bonuses. Li Yuanba received an equivalent physical set built around strength and close-range destruction. Even civilians, doctors, and shipwrights gained equipment better than most established lords could ever afford. Wang Fa next entered the Blueprint Realm, where waves attacked the territory from every direction. Unlike the enclosed tower, this trial tested the entire settlement rather than one expedition team. Monster paths surrounded all 4 walls, forcing Wang Fa to divide permanent troops carefully. Warships compensated for sparse defenders by maintaining artillery coverage across long distances. The trial rewarded endurance, construction, and command instead of personal hero strength alone. His expanded land required walls so long that ordinary defensive planning would have been impossible. 4,000 golden warships lined the perimeter, with 1,000 fixed to each side. Although separated by vast distances, all defenders still shared the combined auras of 4 heroes. 3 triple S-rank lords waited elsewhere, using an ancient talent awakening pool as bait for Wang Fa. Inside the trial, Zhang Jiao used Huang Tian asks the way to borrow spirit from thousands of allies. His wind and rain mages unleashed blades and piercing rain, while golden artillery covered every approach. The trial repeatedly offered enhancements to critical chance, attack speed, range damage, and wall defenses. By the 95th level, Zhang Jiao scattered beans and created more than 4,000 yellow turban warriors. The magical soldiers emerged fully capable of wearing spare golden armor from the workshop. They occupied empty warships and converted stored equipment into immediate artillery crews. What should have been temporary summons became a second army during the trial. Zhang Jiao's spell solved the manpower problem created by Wang Fa's enormous walls. Those summoned soldiers could wear Wang Fa's 5-star golden equipment, multiplying their usefulness dramatically. Every defeated boss was absorbed by the demon-suppressing tower and upgraded into a golden subordinate. 95 new bosses joined the previous captives, forming a monstrous reserve army. Another global announcement declared Wang Fa first on the Blueprint Realm leaderboard. Observers recognized the same great Xia prodigy behind the tower record and Wu Roken's death. Shen Yu, Xu Lin, and Sun Fei entered the beginner battlefield, while Wang Fa continued alone. The Blueprint Realm climbed beyond normal expectations, opening level after level beneath his sustained fire. Accumulated blessings guaranteed critical hits and greatly increased wall durability and range damage. On level 180, an enormous winged dragon led monsters capable of weakening defensive structures. Its supporting creatures carried effects designed to reduce defenses rather than attack soldiers directly. That combination finally made accumulated damage meaningful against the Golden Wall. Wang Fa watched durability fall and refused to confuse stubbornness with courage. Stopping at the correct moment preserved every reward already earned. Repeated corrosion reduced Wang Fa's wall to only 30% durability despite its golden quality. His heroes answered with their strongest skills, while artillery filled the battlefield with uninterrupted explosions. The winged dragon finally fell and entered the demon-suppressing tower as another golden captive. Wang Fa cleared level 180, breaking the entire Starfield's beginner record. Flock the announcement repeated across the heavens while he wisely ended the trial before his wall collapsed. Settlement awarded 16 copies of 7 different red quality building blueprints. The choices covered both core infrastructure and specialized defense rather than random treasure. Wang Fa selected enough duplicates to feed the Star Fusion system across his entire territory. Red construction costs were massive, but still cheaper than building their final golden forms directly. His original white building trick now operated on the scale of millions of resources. Ultimate Ascension upgraded them into golden walls, mansions, pavilions, workshops, shipyards, towers, and traps. Wang Fa purchased vast food reserves and began constructing the cheaper red versions, one after another. 14 new walls were enough, because his existing fortification had already reached 2 stars. He fused repeated buildings systematically until the core structures reached 5-star gold quality. The recruitment pavilion's chances of summoning historical and mythical generals rose substantially. His city wall gained 15 million durability and defenses beyond the first 200 trial levels. A 5-star spike trap covered an area larger than several stadiums outside the main gate. The spikes normally remained hidden beneath solid ground until Wang Fa activated them. Their 10-meter height threatened giants and cavalry as easily as ordinary infantry. Placement before the gate ensured enemies entered the killing field while approaching the weakest opening. Trap added lethal terrain without creating another wall requiring defenders. At Wang Fa's command, 10-meter silver spikes erupted from the ground in a lethal defensive field. The reward also included a golden Heavenly Dao trial talisman, warning of an exceptionally dangerous realm. Wang Fa entered anyway, trusting the Fountain of Resurrection to provide one final safeguard. The trial stripped away his equipment, territory, heroes, and every familiar source of power. Only 5 mysterious items remained, each upgraded to gold, even without visible notifications. Wang Fa selected a golden longsword before the world around him transformed completely. He awakened in what seemed like ordinary life, remembering only a joyful dream about cheating in a game. No system panel answered his thoughts, and none of his heroes appeared nearby. The physical world supplied years of consistent evidence that Wang Fa had never become a lord. Friends, routines, and emotions filled every gap where memories of blue stars should have remained. The trial succeeded because it offered believable normality instead of obvious horror. Huna teased him for caring more about video games than her, making the illusion feel painfully real. For the first time since entering the Lord game, Wang Fa faced an enemy he could not defeat with statistics. The illusion gave Wang Fa years of memories that insisted his lordly life had only been a dream. He remembered meeting Hu Na online, before their relationship gradually entered the real world. 3 years passed inside that fabricated life, and the couple began preparing for marriage. Only one impossible detail remained: the translucent green sword Wang Fa had selected before entering. The weapon appeared beside his bed, inside closets, and near places where he had abandoned it. Nobody around Wang Fa treated those appearances as strange because they could not perceive its movement. Its persistence slowly changed from an irritation into the only evidence that reality was incomplete. The trial nearly succeeded because recognizing evidence mattered less than accepting its impossible meaning. Everyone else saw a cheap plastic toy, yet the weapon returned whenever he tried discarding it. Wang Fa visited temples and collected protective bracelets, but none removed the sword's strange attraction. He ignored it for years until a cut finger left blood across the translucent blade. The harmless toy transformed into a heavy dagger with a dark bronze scabbard. Bloodthirsty beast head decorated its hilt, while a white tassel hung from the end. The weapon's true weight awakened sensations from the life Wang Fa had forgotten. Memories of ultimate ascension, his territory, and every battle rushed back together. Hu Na and the ordinary world dimmed around him because they had never truly existed. The trial had attacked his cognition rather than his body, offering happiness in exchange for surrender. By recognizing the contradiction, Wang Fa passed the cognitive tribulation without abandoning his identity. He did not defeat Hu Na or reject the emotions created during their false relationship. Instead, he accepted that genuine feelings could exist inside an artificial world without making it reality. That distinction protected his mind from clinging to the life the trial had offered. Wang Fa escaped through understanding rather than brute force. He received 10 minutes before a heavenly Tao stone tablet to comprehend calamity itself. Wang Fa captured 10% of its power before the opportunity ended. The tablet contained far more knowledge than any mind could absorb within minutes. Each additional insight became harder because heavenly Tao resisted shallow memorization. Wang Fa focused on usable calamities instead of chasing fragments he could not control. Even partial mastery granted authority beyond conventional lord skills. Back inside his territory, he tested cognitive tribulation on Leah and briefly distorted her perception. He could also summon earthquakes, drought, and other disasters through heavenly Tao authority. This was not ordinary elemental magic, but a fragment of the rules governing catastrophe. Before Wang Fa finished testing it, 3 enormous cracks split open across the sky. Every resident looked upward as pressure descended from outside the protected region. The cracks aligned over separate sides of the territory, preventing one defense from blocking them together. Their timing proved the 3 races had coordinated the strike in advance. Wang Fa's earlier victories had frightened former rivals into temporary cooperation. Golden, silver, and blood-red arms emerged from wormholes above his territory. The immortal race, Protoss, an ancient human race, launched a coordinated attack from beyond the region. Their hands descended with enough force to erase the entire territory from existence. Yet Wang Fa's defenders survived, and the failed assault left behind an enormous collection of resources. Among those treasures were even 10-star golden items rarely seen by beginner lords. The attack exposed an internal organization created by the 3 races through their blue star servants. Wang Fa traveled to its meeting place, where several triple S-rank traders believed they had prepared a trap. Instead, Wang Fa killed 5 triple S-rank talent users and completed Ultimate Ascension's advancement mission. The supposed meeting became an execution because the conspirators underestimated his heavenly Tao perception. Their plans depended on Wang Fa entering unaware and accepting their chosen battlefield. Once deception failed, individual talents could not compensate for the gulf in accumulated power. Their deaths provided exactly the advancement enemies had gathered to prevent. His talent evolved immediately, upgrading every owned item to 10-star gold quality. Buildings, heroes, soldiers, equipment, plants, and stored resources erupted with transformed golden light. The next advancement preview promised something beyond gold entirely: mysterious dark quality. 1 month later, Wang Fa's territory had reached an average level of 90. Golden food, equipment, experience hunting, and production continued every day without interruption. The settlement no longer resembled the barren wasteland where one flimsy fence had first appeared. Specialized districts supported agriculture, medicine, forging, shipbuilding, training, and monster containment. Wang Fa had built the foundation of a kingdom before leaving beginner protection. Its mansion, walls, workshop, and barrier tower had all advanced through additional building levels. Representatives of the three races attempted to repair relations after their servants became Wang Fa's captives. An immortal leader offered explanations while Wang Fa studied the unfamiliar customs surrounding him. He noticed a soldier carrying a silver sword, resembling the weapon from his cognitive trial. That similarity suggested the heavenly Tao illusion had drawn symbols from genuine cosmic history. The Protoss argued that their original invitation had been sincere and historically generous. Wang Fa cared little for excuses because their patriarch had already tried to capture him by force. He demanded compensation and treated their branded servants as proof of their failed conspiracy. Another heavenly Tao trial later forced Wang Fa through deeper layers of illusion. By then, he had killed 10 triple S-ranked talents and pushed his territory's average level toward 300. His buildings reached level 8, while the trial granted 30 minutes before the heavenly book. Wang Fa increased his mastery of Calamity Heavenly Tao to 20%. That heightened perception allowed him to sense traps concealed beneath seemingly valuable opportunities. Dongwu Mountain contained a talent awakening pool, surrounded by numerous ambitious lords. Anyone entering would become the common enemy of every force waiting nearby. Troops were already dying along the approach, while stronger lords watched from concealment. Wang Fa recognized that the pool offered little compared with killing the triple S-rank bait protecting it. His own advancement mission promised 10-star gold, making ordinary talent enhancement almost irrelevant. A great Xia contact offered him an exceptionally rare temporary territory projection scroll. The scroll did not create a copy with reduced functions or illusory defenders. For 30 minutes, the projected territory preserved buildings, stationed forces, and defensive effects. Using it once would consume the item, so Wang Fa reserved it for irreplaceable targets. The gathered triple-S-ranked traders justified such a strategic treasure. The item could project Wang Fa's entire territory at any chosen location for 30 minutes. Several orange teleportation scrolls accompanied it, but the projection scroll was the true strategic weapon. Wang Fa could now bring walls, towers, warships, heroes, and the Divine Willow directly into enemy territory. This dramatically increased his chance of killing the triple S-ranked traders gathered around the pool. Before leaving, Wang Fa upgraded his 5-star golden wall and manor to level 2. Each upgrade consumed 1 silver ingot and tens of millions of second-grade resources. The wall rose 12 meters high and darkened into metal with a cold steel luster. Its enlarged parapets finally provided enough space for dense rows of warships and summoned crews. Higher building level also raised the limits of every star-quality special effect. The gate tower became a genuine command fortress, overlooking the exterior killing field. Wang Fa's once deceptive low fence had evolved into unmistakable military architecture. Wang Fa ordered workers to transport equipment and supplies onto the enlarged fortifications. Zhang Jiao would create 12,000 yellow turban warriors once the projected territory reached battle. Even level 90 monsters posed little threat to Wang Fa's level 30 golden forces. Still, Wang Fa gathered experience until all 4 heroes could reach level 60. He refused to enter a trap while his champions carried unused growth potential. Wilderness hunting supplied the missing experience, without revealing the projected territory. The heroes also received freshly forged level 60 equipment before deployment. Preparation reduced the chance that one unexpected talent could decide the entire battle. Their level 60 5-star equipment sets were crafted from cheap white gear before automatic ascension. Zhang Zhao's magic, Lia's arrows, Li Yuanba's strength, and Wenzhong's thunder rose together. 100 additional Titan elephants and 100 storm mages joined the army. Wang Fa now controlled 600 permanent troops split evenly across 3 military branches. The Divine Willow had not yet reached the age required to guide another heavenly tribulation. So Wang Fa spent remaining experience raising every soldier to level 5. His shipyards produced 120,000 golden vessels for a massive fusion project. Those ships became 12,000 4-star golden warships mounted across the city walls. Fusion sacrificed enormous quantities, but each surviving vessel gained several times their former performance. Their enlarged cannons remained hidden behind mist and defensive architecture until Wang Fa ordered fire. 5 barrier layers made every ship a miniature fortress rather than fragile artillery. The fleet represented Wang Fa's final visible answer if enemy numbers became overwhelming. Their cannons doubled in size, while 5 pavilion layers generated overlapping defensive barriers. Wang Fa concealed most of the fleet because revealing it could frighten his intended targets away. He oriented the projected city's main gate directly toward the talent awakening pool. An iron-blooded cross lord waited nearby with a comet-like stone orbiting his body. Other hidden triple-rank figures represented the Neon Kingdom, India, Country D, and Great Xia traders. Wang Fa opened his gate and advanced with Li Wanba, Wenzhong, and 200 Titan elephants. A 3-star golden blood demon boss guarded the pool with exceptional strength and regeneration. Its huge constitution allowed it to survive attacks that would erase most battlefield monsters. The creature forced Wenzhong and Li Yuanba to fight together instead of clearing it instantly. Wang Fa welcomed that delay because prolonged battle encouraged hidden enemies to reveal themselves. The boss unknowingly served as bait, protecting the real bait inside the pool. Both heroes engaged it while the Titan elephants formed a protective wall around Wang Fa. Drivers maintained spacing while ranged riders watched the surrounding hills for concealed forces. Formation bearers linked their 5-colored banners into one shared defensive pattern. The elephants' enormous bodies blocked direct lines of fire toward the pool. Wang Fa entered the water only after every layer of protection closed around him. The formation banners linked together, increasing damage reduction across all 200 units. Xuanwu covered the sky above them, sealing the last obvious path toward the vulnerable lord. Wang Fa entered the pool and calmly absorbed extraordinary substances while his army fought outside. Hidden lords from several countries emerged and concentrated their attacks on the Titan formation. They were astonished that such low-level golden units could withstand their combined pressure. From the distant walls, Zhang Jiao activated Huang Tian Asks the Way across the whole territory. The spirit borrowed from thousands of allies raised his power beyond 1 million points. He scattered beans into 3,000 yellow turban warriors who manned the concealed warships. Black cannonballs began falling among the attacking armies before the true triple S rank bait revealed themselves. One lord transformed into a 300-meter golden Buddha seated on a glass lotus. Sacred chanting filled the battlefield while golden radiance hardened his enormous body. The transformation offered overwhelming mass, defense, and area pressure at the cost of mobility. Wang Fa's traps and artillery punished that size because the Buddha could not evade concentrated fire. Divine appearance did not prevent measurable damage from stripping away the golden surface. Another became the Candle Dragon, a colossal dark red creature radiating ancient heat and authority. The Amaterasu Lord watched cautiously because Candle Dragon's nature opposed her own absolute zero talent. The Iron-Blooded Cross Lord also waited, preserving his comet while others exposed Wang Fa's defenses. Wang Fa remained outside his walls, making this far more dangerous than his battle against Wu Roken. Zhang Jiao summoned silver lightning thick as water barrels onto both enormous transformations. Leah's void arrows ignored distance and repeatedly attacked their eyes from the city wall. The 5-star spike trap tore through the Golden Buddha's hardened body whenever he approached the gate. Neither giant could ignore Wang Fa's territorial power, even with triple S-rank transformations. Then 3 prepared traders activated group teleportation artifacts and brought entire golden armies into battle. Their average level approached 90, far exceeding Wang Fa's permanent soldiers. The first was the Neon Lord, wielding triples rank absolute zero. Her arrival caused moisture to crystallize before she released a deliberate attack. Ice buried the Titan formation in layers thick enough to immobilize war elephants. The cold also threatened equipment mechanisms and every exposed defender around the pool. She intended to freeze Wang Fa alive because the ancient human race wanted him captured. Frost covered her face as rising ice crystals swallowed Wang Fa and the Titan elephants. The second was a great Xia trader capable of manipulating metal across the battlefield. The third controlled gravity and could crush entire formations without touching them. Candle Dragon and the Golden Buddha escaped their immediate restraints when those 3 attacked. Wang Fa now faced 5 triple S-rank talents and several high-level golden armies simultaneously. Fortunately, Xuanwu's healing had stacked towards its maximum during the prolonged battle. The Divine Willow regrew every frozen or severed branch beneath that enormous restoration. The 3 traders offered Candle Dragon and the Buddha half the awakening pool for their cooperation. A binding contract guaranteed payment, but the supposed allies sensed a hidden danger. The Gravity Lord intensified the area to 300 times normal weight. Flying units dropped, while unsupported buildings and summoned forces groaned beneath the pressure. Even powerful soldiers needed formation support merely to remain conscious. The Lord maintained his own position above the battlefield through direct gravity control. That vantage point also exposed him once Wang Fa's illusion began affecting judgment. Soldiers collapsed, knelt, or were crushed as the battlefield itself became unbearably heavy. The divine willow wrapped branches around Wang Fa and dragged him back toward the territory. Candle Dragon and the Golden Buddha turned upward, instead of continuing their attack on Wang Fa. Above them floated an unknown mass of flesh, connected to the ancient human race's heavenly Tao. Its surface resembled a jellyfish, built from organs rather than any natural monster. Intestine-like tendrils descended towards soldiers, bosses, and transformed Triple S lords without discrimination. Assimilated bodies did not die, preventing ordinary resurrection from activating. The creature turned every captured enemy into additional material for its expansion. Bloody intestines reached downward and began assimilating every creature they touched. Even the two colossal Triple S transformations felt their bodies changing beneath its influence. The ancient human race wielded flesh and blood heavenly Tao, making assimilation its strongest hidden weapon. Wang Fa's divine willow rescued him, but 200 Titan elephants remained outside the territory. They did not die. The unknown flesh absorbed them into its expanding body. Because they remained technically alive, the Fountain of Resurrection could not restore them. Wang Fa still possessed 12,000 4-star warships and 20% Calamity, Heavenly Tao. His enemy answered with a building paralysis spell, aimed at the most troublesome city wall. The spell did not destroy durability, making it useless against ordinary unenchanted fortifications. Against Wang Fa, however, disabling special effects removed flight suppression, thorns, and automatic restrictions. The invaders could finally cross a wall they had no realistic chance of breaking. 40 minutes became the window in which they had to finish the assault. Gray-white light smothered the golden surface and disabled every special effect for 40 minutes. Without flight suppression and passage restrictions, the flesh monster could finally enter Wang Fa's territory. Zhang Jiaoso filled the walls with yellow turban crews as all ranged forces prepared for maximum output. The 12,000 warships activated 5 overlapping defensive barriers around their positions. Each layer absorbed a separate portion incoming spells, reflected ammunition, and physical pressure. Barrier towers replenished magical energy while reducing the shock transmitted into the territory. Warship crews continued firing even as explosions rolled across the wall beneath them. Wang Fa's industrial fleet became the final shell around the disabled fortification. Together, their artillery equaled 72,000 ordinary cannons firing in coordinated waves. 4 heroes, every ranged unit, and the Divine Willow added their attacks to that bombardment. The Gravity Lord pulled a meteorite from space and directed it through the clouds toward Wang Fa's city. Its fiery descent gave defenders only moments to react before impact. At the same time, metal manipulation reversed outgoing cannonballs toward their own crews. The synchronized attacks forced barriers to absorb damage from above and both sides. The enemy believed no structure could survive all 3 vectors together. Metal manipulation froze outgoing cannonballs, reversed them, and hurled them back at the walls. Explosions spread across the fortifications while the enormous flesh creature pushed against the barriers. Candle Dragon and the Golden Buddha attacked the monster too, fearing complete assimilation. The 3 traders believed simultaneous pressure from every direction would finally exhaust Wang Fa. Instead, he used cognitive tribulation to invade their senses while they concentrated on the assault. The traders' suspicion provided fertile ground because none genuinely trusted the others. Wang Fa changed recognition rather than creating obvious monsters or imaginary scenery. Each lord interpreted allied movements as preparation for betrayal under the binding contract. Their strongest attacks turned inward before anyone recognized the shared hallucination. Each traitor began seeing the others as immediate threats and hidden betrayers. Warm blood splashed across the great Xia traitor's face as the illusion turned allies against one another. Their own attacks killed all 3, but Wang Fa received credit because his heavenly Tao caused the conflict. The advancement mission rose to 3 completed triple S rank kills. Wang Fa then destroyed the unknown flesh creature containing Candle Dragon and the Golden Buddha. Their deaths completed the final 2 requirements for Ultimate Ascension's next evolution. Golden light engulfed the entire territory as every possession reached 10-star quality at once. The transformation affected items stored in vaults as thoroughly as buildings exposed outside. Heroes felt their potential, skills, equipment, and mounts advanced together. Plants, food, ships, tools, and captured monsters crossed the same impossible threshold. Wang Fa's talent had completed in one moment what other civilizations pursued for generations. Walls, mansion, warships, divine willow, equipment, heroes, and troops all underwent qualitative transformation. The disabled city's special effects returned in forms far stronger than before paralysis. 200 assimilated Titan elephants finally died with the flesh monster and emerged from resurrection. The victory awarded 50 million experience points, Lord's skill books, another medal, slots, blueprints, and tokens. Every reward immediately advanced to 10-star gold under the evolved Ultimate Ascension. Wang Fa had never needed group invincibility during the battle because his enemies failed to corner him completely. His new Lord skills included 5-fold Hero Aura, Group Invincibility, 10-fold Attack Speed, and Hero Fusion. 10-fold attack speed could accelerate every friendly unit for 10 full minutes. Group Invincibility could make the entire army untouchable during a decisive emergency. 5-fold Hero Aura allowed multiple commanders' effects to stack across an enormous formation. Hero Fusion offered possibilities Wang Fa had not yet begun to explore. The talent awakening pool remained contested because anyone claiming it triggered a 20-minute occupation countdown. Every nearby force would immediately bombard whoever attempted to hold the center. Wang Fa no longer needed its limited enhancement, so preserving his army mattered more than claiming bait. Instead, he turned toward the overwhelming rewards waiting inside his transformed territory. 1,000 portions of 10-star golden porridge summoned 1,000 golden civilians. Another 1,000 military tokens entered his troop pools and produced elephants and mages in massive numbers. His food supply now became the next strategic concern because population growth had accelerated explosively. Without enough seeds and farmland, even 10-star workers could not make the territory self-sufficient forever. Wang Fa planned to exchange elite food for resources once production stabilized. The 10-star recruitment pavilion now offered vastly improved historical and mythical summoning chances. Wang Fa inserted his new hero token and activated the mythical result once again. The multi-eyed Taoist emerged, a figure better remembered throughout legend as the 100-eyed Demon Lord. His numerous hidden eyes and spiritual cultivation made him a dangerous magical commander. Wang Fa raised the new hero directly to level 60, using part of the accumulated experience. The remaining rewards demanded careful attention because several could redefine future battles completely. 2 SSS-rank Lord skill books had entered his possession after the 5-target victory. Ultimate Ascension elevated their final quality before Wang Fa even opened the detailed descriptions. Additional hero, Spirit Beast, and skill slots expanded the number of powers he could deploy together. 4 blueprints also reached 10-star gold, promising another generation of impossible territorial structures. 1,000 military tokens guaranteed rapid expansion whenever Wang Fa selected the correct troop pools. Nothing from the defeated alliance would be wasted or traded away as second-hand material. 5-fold Hero Aura changed the scale at which Wang Fa could combine his commanders. Lia's range could operate beside Li Yuanba's strength instead of replacing it. Wen Zhong's lightning punishment could spread through attacks, empowered by Zhang Jiao's spiritual support. Xuanwu remained a sacred beast rather than a hero, preserving its independent healing protection. The 100-eyed Demon Lord added another specialized aura to the growing formation. Army composition now mattered as much as individual hero quality when selecting active effects. Wang Fa finally possessed enough hero slots to exploit that layered command structure. Group Invincibility offered an answer to attacks even Resurrection could not safely resolve. Unlike the Fountain, it prevented destruction instead of repairing death afterward. That distinction mattered against assimilation, sealing, capture, and other effects that bypassed ordinary killing. Wang Fa had survived the flesh creature without using it, preserving the skill's secrecy. Future enemies might commit every trump card before discovering the entire army could become untouchable. The long cooldown demanded precise timing rather than careless activation at the first threat. For Wang Fa, unused protection was proof of control rather than wasted strength. 10-fold attack speed transformed sustained formations into short periods of overwhelming annihilation. Space crossbow cavalry could release volleys faster than ordinary enemies could perceive trajectories. Warship crews could multiply cannon fire without requiring 12,000 additional vessels. Storm mages and summoned warriors would also accelerate their attacks throughout the effect. The enhancement lasted 10 minutes, far longer than most decisive battlefield exchanges. Only a 2-hour recovery separated one activation from the next. Combined with Lia's range, opponents could disappear before reaching any defensive barrier. Hero Fusion remained the least understood, and therefore potentially most dangerous reward. Wang Fa did not activate it blindly merely because the quality had reached 10 stars. Fusing incompatible heroes without understanding the rules could sacrifice abilities he still needed separately. The skill deserved controlled study after the territory left immediate danger. Lia, Li Yuanba, Wenzhong, Zhang Jiao, and the multi-eyed Taoist filled distinct battlefield roles. Preserving that diversity currently offered more certainty than chasing an unknown fused form. Wang Fa stored the option as another hidden answer for enemies beyond the beginner region. The new civilians appeared with 10-star production potential rather than ordinary helpless bodies. Their labor could multiply food, ore, buildings, medicine, ships, and equipment across the territory. Yet a larger population immediately increased daily consumption and logistical pressure. Ultimate Ascension improved food quality, but could not create seeds from absolute nothing. Wang Fa therefore prioritized farmland inputs before expanding recruitment without limits. Once production stabilized, surplus 10-star food could purchase resources across higher-level markets. Economic dominance would then finance military growth without exposing his core talent. The upgraded recruitment pavilion greatly increased both historical and mythical summoning probabilities. The multi-eyed Taoist proved that mythical figures could emerge repeatedly, rather than as one lucky exception. His spiritual attributes made him naturally suited for magical warfare beside Zhang Jiao and Wenzhong. The Hundred-Eyed Demon Lord's legendary identity also carried knowledge unfamiliar to modern Blue Star Lords. Wang Fa valued that experience because future enemies would no longer be simple beginner monsters. Level 60 allowed the newcomer to join the veteran heroes without months of separate cultivation. 10-star equipment could now be prepared specifically around his abilities once the smiths completed evaluation. The battle around the Awakening Pool had exposed how many civilizations already viewed Wang Fa as prey. The Protoss wanted ownership, the ancient human race wanted his body, and traders wanted promised rewards. Other top races still possessed Blue Star SSS talents, capable of entering future traps. Wang Fa's promotion mission had benefited from their attack, but the attention would not disappear afterward. Leaving beginner protection meant facing enemies with older territories, deeper resources, and mature heavenly Dao powers. His victory provided preparation time, not permanent safety from the universe beyond Blue Star. That reality made the unexplained dark quality preview more important than any current record. For now, Wang Fa controlled a 10-star golden domain that no newcomer could challenge directly. Its walls could resurrect defenders, its towers held golden bosses, and its workshops armed every resident. 5 heroes commanded troops supported by Xuan Wu, the Divine Willow, and 12,000 warships. Agriculture, medicine, forging, shipbuilding, and recruitment all reinforced the same accelerating system. Every enemy attack had increased Wang Fa's resources instead of stopping his ascent. The beginner battlefield had failed to contain him, and the wider universe had finally noticed. Great Xia had gained a prodigy capable of resisting offers, invasions, and betrayals from superior races. His allies now understood that cooperation with Wang Fa offered more hope than competing against him. His enemies understood the opposite lesson. Every failed scheme delivered another advancement opportunity. Beyond the protected region, stronger worlds were already preparing to test which conclusion would survive. What began beside 2 huts and a waist-high fence had become the foundation of an unstoppable lord. The territory now possessed 5 extraordinary heroes, thousands of troops, and defenses beyond beginner comprehension. Yet the war had also revealed enemies capable of manipulating rules, cognition, flesh, gravity, and entire worlds. Ultimate Ascension had reached 10-star gold, but its next preview still pointed toward unknown dark quality. Wang Fa had conquered every trap placed before him without exposing all his surviving trump cards. As the Hundred-Eyed Demon Lord joined his ranks, the real struggle beyond the beginner battlefield was only beginning.